Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to our 15-minute webinar. Today, we're going to be covering budgeting and technology and giving you more peace of mind using financial technology or fintech to make your life a little bit easier as well. As always, I like to jump in with a good quote: ignoring technological change in a financial system based upon technology is like a mouse starving to death because someone moved their cheese. I know that in my 13 years of banking, I've seen a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm not into that digital stuff. I'm not into that. It's too difficult. It's too risky." But choosing not to is definitely your choice, but it also inhibits your safety and security and also ease of access. So here's some ideas that we're going to go through and show you some benefits of the technologies that do exist. Hopefully it gives you a little bit of a teaser if you've not quite tipped that bridge to kind of get into it. So banking in the now times, transfers and transactions happen in real time. I know a lot of us would laugh at this. I know sometimes it took up to 2 business days to make a transfer, business days, not even the weekend. So I know a lot of us had to plan our trips to the bank, if not do a phone in transfer. There's very little to no check activity nowadays. We do get some checks here and there, but it's very much has declined by over 80% in the last 10 years. We do see some, Christmas cards, birthday cards. Maybe we have an employer that still pays with a payroll check, but it's very far and few between. And a lot of people take advantage of the next one, which is mobile deposits, so that when you do get a check, that mobile deposit is a way to save some time. Because on average, from the moment you drive into a parking lot of your financial institution to when you leave, it's about 10 minutes. So if you get a couple of checks a month, that's some time getting back where it starts adding up and you can see the difference. The next one is text alerts, which is my favorite financial technology that exists because it came from such a bad position. I remember about 8, 9 years ago when text alerts first came out, they would actually lag and not be current. So you'd get your account would overdraw, you get an overdraft fee, or you got a deposit, and it would let you know like 2 business days later. You're like, thank you for that. I already knew. However, nowadays they're real time, and nowadays you can actually, if you get an unauthorized charge, even stop the transaction in real time via the text alerts. I recommend these for the major 4 areas: online, outside the United States, over the phone, and gas station. I recommend those 4 alerts. Chances are most of us won't be doing too many of those on the regular. However, those are where a lot of fraud comes from the debit card side. The next one is definitely electronic bill pay. Electronic bill pay is great, and this is not where you allow like consumers or AT&T or those companies to draw the money out of your account. This is where you actually send it, but you're sending electronically. I like this for more than one reason. The first reason is it helps organize, right? So instead of going back through your statements or a check register, if you're still a traditional banker, you go into your bill pay, click on the bill's name, like let's say consumers, and it'll give you all your previous bills for up to 3 years, if not longer. And so if you ever have to go back as reference, it's very quick and easy. And also it's guaranteed delivery. So as long as the date is selectable, meaning that you can actually click on the date and it accepts it, it will be guaranteed delivery on that date. Some merchants still take traditional checks. So when you go into the bill pays, even here at Arbor or other places, if you see that a couple of days out, that's just because they don't electronically accept payments, and we will physically mail a check. The cool thing is when we mail the check, it doesn't come with your account numbers on it. It comes with our main ledger account. So instead of you writing your own personal check that has your account number, your routing number, your address, your signature, your phone number, all the information on there that's imperative, it comes from a cashier's check from our printed on a cashier's check paper from our financial institution or your financial institution that you bank with. But bill pay is great because it keeps you in control. I recommend never using auto pays. I've seen people who are also the money just wasn't there in the account. Not that they didn't have it, maybe it just got transferred the wrong place, something happened, and that bill came in. They couldn't stop it, so it's charged overdraft fees. It got fees on the side of the business that didn't get paid, and it creates a whole, a mess, as you could say. But we like to do the bill pay because it always leaves you in control. Now, I know that would leave you to come in once a month to put your bills that are not set dollar amounts, because like Consumers Energy, places that have a different variance of dollar amount each month, you have to manually do that, but it keeps you aware of those spikes. Some people I talk to them about their energy bills and they don't know really what they pay on them because it's always done automatically. This will make sure that you know that you see the spikes in the holiday seasons, or sorry, the cold season, the warm seasons, see those kind of different changes. And then lastly, banking in the now times is the ID alert, or ID Protect is what we have here at Arbor. Also Social Security protection. It's much like car insurance that protects your Social Security number, your credit report, things outside the financial institution. Now, we protect everything that you give us, so we will not lose your Social Security number. We will not lose your driver's license number and those kinds of informations. But it doesn't stop someone going through your mailbox. It doesn't stop someone going through your garbage, finding it randomly, scamming you. So we hold your information and we're responsible for that. But if it's outside the realm of us, you want to have extra protection. And a lot of people assume that the financial institution protects them unlimitedly on all that stuff, and we only protect what we have from you or what information you have given us. Other than that, that is up to you. So here's what our ID Protect kind of looks like. There's always, and this is similar. If you don't bank with Arbor and you have another institution, a lot of them do have something similar. I like ours because the cost is only $3.99 a month. It's about the cost of a cup of coffee, and it provides a lot of coverages. It does give you a general landing page. So a lot of the ones that you might get if you get like LifeLock or other ones similar to what we have here at Arbor, you're going to see these pages to be the same. The main login page will have your number, your information. It gives you some stuff, but it also, if you see here, it does point out the $10,000 in identity fraud reimbursement coverage, which is something that you don't have if you don't pay for it. And by the way, that's also the national average of recovering your credit report if someone got your information, started a loan, went past due, things like that. It's about $10,000 on average. So it's good to have that coverage. The next one will allow you to see your credit report and get real-time credit report scores. Also allows you to see any discrepancies and help you file for those discrepancies. If you don't have one of these services, you have to do it by paper mail. And there's 3 credit bureaus. So if the mistake is on all 3 credit bureaus, you got to mail all 3 of them individually. They might all have different questions. They do have to respond in a timely manner of usually like 30 days, but it's still time out of your day where something like this, you can just electronically click error, and then someone on ID Protect or whatever program you have will help establish and do that for you. And they're professionals, so they know how to do it quickly, efficiently, and cleanly. The next part I love about ID Protect is it allows you to see credit report related topics like the basics, kids identity theft, medical identity theft, some of those things coming up that are big, and kind of like the ins and outs. This is where you can get your information that provides you that security and that protection that you really need through financial technology. This is more even tailored than randomly going on the websites. This is your paid for subscription of the best information. And then it also gives you a lot of the resources like the FTC and Homeland Security, which are big proprietors of some of this fraud. And so checking back on these will definitely give you the insights. If you're like, hey, I want to be up to date on what's coming so I don't get scammed, this is where you check out. Now, again, this is similar through a lot of people's ID protection programs. So I show you these in just kind of general reference, but we can definitely set these up for you as an employee. And then my favorite part of ID Protect is the help center, because when your heart's racing, if your wallet was stolen, if your ID was stolen, if you actually have fraud on your account, who do you turn to? And this is even a more centered, hyper-focused area for what to do and the actions to do. Because I know if I'm all upset or my heart's going fast, I might not be thinking clearly. And this is really going to help kind of establish that safety net. And this is all just for a few dollars a month. Now, the next thing I want to jump into is the multi-account structure. Multi-account structure may not be for everybody, especially if you're not an online banking or mobile banking user, but it is the way that a lot of us manage our accounts. This is how I manage my account. So essentially, I come in and I only have one debit card. It's the one that says debit card account, but these squares represent checking accounts. Now, some people say, well, that's too much to manage. Well, don't look at it as like a checking account with numbers and all that. Look at it as like a jacket with zippers and pockets. And when you get paid, you might move money around those pockets. So I have a checking account that has hold money, and that hold money is money that doesn't necessarily go to my savings account yet, because I don't know if I want to save it yet. I might have a short term, like maybe in 30 days, need it. And I don't want to bother my savings goal with money going in and out all the transactions. Generally with my savings, I only want to see money going in. Now at Arbor, we don't have Regulation D, which is the restrictions of electronic transfers from your savings account. However, a lot of institutions do. And this is why we hold money in a hold account and then we transfer to our savings account when we're ready. So generally on the day I get paid, I have the exact dollar amount go over to my bills account. My bills are paid automatically, except for the ones I have to manually put in the dollar amount, which is very small, like less than 10%. So 90% of my bills are paid automatically on time, and the money is automatically there from the day that I get paid from an automatic transfer and automatic bill pay. Then I give myself my budget $100 a week. This is the account that my debit card is attached to. Now I have access instantly because I can do transfers real time through my mobile banking any time of the day, but I try to do this to stay on budget. This also creates a layer of security because if I were to drop my debit card, the most that a fraudster could get would be maximum $100, right? Or whatever your budget's in there. Also, the reason I like this, having a separate disposable or discretionary income account, is because it keeps you aware of how much you're actually spending. If you have a singular account where you get paid, you pay your bills, and then the rest of the money just kind of, Flamin' Young's the first day, dollar cheeseburgers before the next paycheck. This is something you can combat by having a budget. Now, you might start off with a lower amount, which I always recommend, And then you might find yourself out just a few days in switching over, say, wow, I went through that $100 real quick. And then you bumped your budget up to like 125. And maybe that's where you can stay more consistent. But it's to make you aware of your spending habits. So it keeps you safe, makes you aware of how much you're spending, and also limits the access to your other accounts through that one debit card. And then obviously having a savings goal is always important. They say recommend 10% of your income is what's recommended. But I will move money from my hold account to my savings account once I know it's not been need, and it's generally the following paycheck. Then I dump surplus into my savings account, so I actually don't draw money back out. Now my savings account, even though it's shown here, is hidden on my mobile banking, online banking. You have the access to hide your account. So I kind of do this here, so it's out of sight, out of mind account. And then I also do that with my vacation fund and my holiday fund. I don't like to see these funds that much because it tempts me to spend them. My vacation fund, my holiday fund get pre-funded for my direct deposit. So direct deposit comes in every other Friday. 50 bucks rolls to my vacation fund, 50 bucks rolls to my holiday fund account. And I set those up 6 months apart. So in June or July, I have about $600. And in December or November, I have about $600. Now, this doesn't pay for all the holiday expenses or seasonal expenses, but this is where a lot of people mess up their budgets because they count for their daily or their monthly stuff, but they don't count for the quarterly or the biannually or once a year stuff. And so vacations and holidays generally come for a lot of people during those times. It's cool to have that money set aside. And then I have a side job where I actually sell and buy stuff on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist and those similar websites where I keep the money separate. So when it comes in to my direct deposit or hold account, I move it over to my Facebook account so that my funds are not commingling. And then I know that I'm either doing good or not good with my business venture. Now, after using this structure, the quick recap on this structure is definitely nickname all accounts. As you see, I didn't have the last 4 digits of numbers. You definitely want to nickname because that's going to create it easier for you. And then when you pull up your mobile banking or online banking, you're going to see this list. And you'll get used to seeing how much money is normally in each account, right? Your bills account should zero out each month. Your free money account should never have more money than what you put in there as your budget. If you put money in there and you had extra before your next dump, you should put that money into your savings account because obviously that money wasn't needed. Now you can blow it, surely that's easy, but when you're trying to be tight on your budget or just be efficient, that's what the thing was. And you would create that disposable income account to keep that separate from bills and other expenses. We know that the debit card account is one that usually gets the compromising. Maybe it's generally the debit card. However, sometimes it can be the actual account. And when you have everything else in different accounts, it's important. And it's just your free money account. You just close it, open a new one, or just get a new debit card. And you don't have to change where your direct deposits come in. You don't got to change where your bills are coming in. It makes things a lot easier. And then, like I said, start with a low budget. And then use those bills, use the bills function as well. And then key for this one is also utilize transfers. Now, you're not going to be a professional the first time you do this, but it's worth trying because if not, you're literally just choosing not to take some of these technologies that will make your life easier. Yes, I know at first we all didn't just jump on a bike without training wheels and just rode around the world real quickly. We had to practice and learn. So we do have some things, even as in our adult lives or our young adult lives, that we have to learn new, but it's for the benefit of you in the future. And so then we jump into what is a digital wallet, because a lot of times when we're using our debit cards and our credit cards, nowadays you're hearing about Apple Pay or Samsung Pay or Android Pay and these different types of things. And what is that? So a digital wallet is simply put card information normally found in your wallet is stored digitally on your phone. Then it's used to make contactless purchases. So when everybody's trying not to touch anything or be distant, this is even a better one, but it creates a couple layers of security, and it's an encrypted transaction. So it is fast and convenient. Literally pull your phone out, hit the on button, put it near the reader, and it's going to literally give you an option where it's going to read your face, or it's going to take a thumbprint or ask for a code. It is safer and more secure because of that dual factor authentication. So think about it. If you open your phone, you got a password, right? And then when it does a transaction, it's going to either ask for another password, a thumbprint, or a face recognition. So you literally have two multi-factor authentication for a purchase where if someone found your wallet, there's no authentication. They just walk up and swipe it. Right. So you can see the security there. And a lot of times it is good for the everyday purchases. I actually just yesterday left my wallet behind at home and I thought I was going to be encumbered. Every place I went to, the gas station, the grocery store, every place I went to, even Burger King for a quick snack, all had the virtual pay wave or Apple Pay or cash, the cashless touching. And should be looked at as the new primary form of payment, not like a secondary one. Because it is convenient, and again, it creates that security. So when you're reaching for that security, that ultimate, I don't want to be duped by someone else or be taken advantage of by something easily. This is what you want to do, and our representatives can show you how to do it. There's also plenty of videos there through your selected phone carrier. like Apple or Samsung or Droid, that will help you set it up as well. But it's super easy and should not be a reason that you haven't tried it. But how much more secure is it? It's protection on every purchase. The near field communication only works within like an inch or less. So it's not like someone can just walk by your phone, scan it, and take it away. Again, we talked about the multi-factor authentication. And the best part is it gives an account number to the transmitter that is not the debit card number you have on your card. And it also gives a specific security code that is real-time verified. So if your institution is real-time verifying, they get an account number and they get a code that's specific to the phone. So it's nearly impossible. At this time, what we know, it's nearly impossible for someone to compromise your information. Like I said, they can verify in real time. So that's all I have today. So again, budgeting using multi-accounts, transfers, electronic bill pay, using your digital wallet, and then also taking advantage of some kind of ID protection is the best way to use financial technology and creating that budgeting, but also giving that peace of mind at the end of the day that you're safe and secure. So I hope you found this informational and good. Do check back, as we're going to be running this one and a couple other ones in November at our arborfcu.org/learn. You can see our upcoming webinars there, but feel free to check back here anytime you want. I'll also send this out to the registered people, and we will have an opportunity to talk there. Thank you very much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful afternoon, and we'll see you back soon.